What a phenomenal weekend it was in the fight game. Grand Prairie represent.
Let's go.
Vergil Ortiz getting the W via the cards.
Mhm.
And then in the main event was Beterbiev and Bivol 2. And that fight lived up to the hype.
Yes, it did.
It was everything you want to see as a fight fan. And it's something that possibly could go into a trilogy,
I have
which
a feeling it's going to, yeah.
I might or might not be excited for that trilogy. I think Bivol wasn't as excited for a trilogy, and Beterbiev maybe was more excited for that trilogy fight. So we'll see. I mean, that's a 24 round war.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we talked about how that was gonna not be round one of the second fight,
Mhm.
but round 13.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. So
Mhm.
we got a lot to get into, so we'll get right into it. Grand Prairie's own Mr. Vergil Ortiz Jr. with the decision win versus one Israel Madrimov, and what looked like a damn uh close fight going
Very.
into the later rounds, and then ultimately Vergil put his foot on the gas. Madrimov looked like he ran out of gas,
Mhm.
and Vergil dominated the late rounds to go ahead and take that fight. Now I know you said that you got to watch the highlights. You weren't really able to catch the entire fight.
Yeah.
I was able to see the entire fight, so I kind of know what it looked like, start to finish. The thing that was kind of pissing me off, Oscar De La Hoya was they caught him in between rounds. Madrimov came in with the strategy of, I'm gonna go ahead and run around. I'm gonna be on my toes. I'm gonna be moving. He pulled like the Apollo Creed type.
Bro,
You know,
that's
he
where he
was
messed
just
up.
he was just sticking and moving, sticking and
Mm.
moving. He didn't want to let Vergil, sit down on his punches and plant to throw. He didn't want to, exchange firepower with him.
Mhm.
And it was a damn good strategy. Vergil, very patient. He was very composed. He didn't let it get to him that he couldn't necessarily put his force into his punches because he couldn't get his feet set. Like
Mhm.
Madrimov he was making a move. It was
Okay.
pretty impressive to see his motor. But as the rounds went on, after about round 7, you could see uh Vergil was starting to land some combinations, get
Oh,
his
yeah.
confidence. And then once that confidence came, Madrimov looked like he was like, shh, I'm done. Like I'm done.
He ran out of gas from what I could tell. Yeah.
He was throwing these like looping overhand Gennady Golovkin type shots,
Mhm.
and Virgil was catching a couple of those overhand rights.
Mhm.
But for the most part, man, Virgil fought a good fight, super composed. Now he did have some damage. You could see it on his face. He
Obviously.
did have a cut at the end of the fight, and that was from multiple headbutts. But overall, man, I think Vergil Ortiz passed the test. He showed that he's ready for the next level of competition. He did it in convincing fashion, even though he didn't get the knockout. He showed his stamina and he showed defense, which was the one thing that we said needed to be built upon, was that defense. We said, hey, he's got all the offense in the world. He showed he's
Mhm.
got he's got some gas in the tank, but we didn't know if he had the defense. And his face may not have shown it, but his defense was phenomenal, man. And he was, switching the angles. He wasn't giving Madrimov too many clean shots. He took a couple of good shots and he ate them. And I think overall, Vergil Ortiz definitely solidified himself at 154. And he's like, hey, I'll fight anybody with a belt at 154.
Yeah.
And I think Fundora's next. If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, that's kind of what they're looking at is Fundora. Julio, you watched the highlights, man. What'd you think about the highlights? I know there weren't too many based on what you stated, but
Yeah, there wasn't a lot that I could pick from it. Again, I apologize. I didn't get to catch that fight. I was able to tune in later on to catch some of the other fights, but that was the one fight that I did miss. And From what you're saying, it sounds like I missed one hell of a fight. So, one thing that I would say is I'm very surprised to hear that, like you said, the earlier rounds for Israel Madrimov to take that kind of approach, that Apollo Creed approach, where he's like kind of just running around, feeling them out, kind of just working the jab, that kind of thing. Because if you notice, whenever he fought against Bud, he was always going forward, applying pressure the entire fight. And Bud is, as we all know, he's a great counter puncher. So he's going to be that guy that moves around the ring and then catches punches and then catches you slipping as you're throwing your punches. So I was a little surprised to hear when you said that to begin with. Now it kind of makes sense as I was watching the highlights because you could see that Madrimov was gassed towards the end of the fight. Like he was really, really gassed. You could tell that he was trying to connect or make some combination punches, and they were, you could see them land, but they weren't landing with force. On the other hand, you see our boy Virgil. That boy, every time he threw a bomb, he was landing and it was hitting, and you could see that it was rocking that man. So hats off to Virgil, man. Virgil, again, because I only caught the highlights, he looked like he fought one hell of a fight. I'm glad to hear that he had some better defense. I know that in other fights previous, that's one thing that we always like to point out is the fact that he just lacks there in defense and is not very good with that. He's really good at applying pressure and landing power punches, but just the defense was something that was lacking. So I'm glad to hear that he's picked that up. And then again, man, I'm just glad that the GP boy won, man. Represent all the way. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, Virgil's definitely a guy that's like, I'll take one to give one.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he's confident in his chin.
Hmm.
I think he did a really good job of, just like I said, the defense was on point. He was super patient. He wasn't trying to rush it. He didn't get frustrated. And they asked him after the fight, like, what was one of the biggest changes you made between the Boachuk fight and this one? And he was just like, I was patient. He's like, I didn't try to rush anything. I didn't try to
Hmm.
force it. I just took what he gave me, and then we just kind of went from there. Robert Garcia is doing a great job
Hell yeah.
with Vergil Ortiz, man, and I think that he's just a phenomenal boxing coach. So kudos to him.
Hmm.
And Madrimov didn't, he didn't put on a bad showing. He just he wasn't aggressive enough, and I think that's what ultimately cost him the fight. Was he just wasn't aggressive enough because he knew if I let my hands go, something's coming back,
Oh yeah. It's
and
gonna
I don't
come
think
back.
he wanted that smoke. So
Mm-mm.
great fight as far as that goes. Congratulations to Vergil Ortiz, the pride of the prairie.
GP.
And I can't wait to see him do it again. Super proud of him. So shout out and kudos to Mr. Vergil Ortiz
Hell
Jr.
yeah, brother. Keep doing your thing.
Absolutely. And moving on to the main event was Bivol Beterbiev 2. And
Hmm.
Dimitri Bivol took a different strategy this go round.
Very
Uh,
different.
the first fight, he was very much like, I'm gonna catch and then I'm gonna throw, right? I'm gonna
Yeah.
counter.
Hmm.
This go round, he was like, YOLO, bruh.
The
And
hell
he
with
was on
this.
the offense. Yeah, he was on the offensive. He was landing some nice punches. Beterbiev looked like he started getting in the rhythm, and then
Mhm.
what the adjustment that Bivol made, and I think it was Sergio Mora. Uh, he kind of mentioned it, is Bivol's fighting off the back foot, right?
Mhm.
Beterbiev's coming at him, and then what he does is he stops on a dime, bam! He throws one, stops
Yep.
Beterbiev in his tracks. That momentum kind of gets him off guard, and then it's like, now I can start my offensive. So he was
Mhm.
cutting him off, like, Beterbiev thinking, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do some damage.
Yep.
He's back, back, back. Stop, boom! Now I'm coming back at you. It's like, whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah.
So tremendous ring IQ from Dimitri Bivol. Tremendous effort in that fight by both men. It's what you want in a main
Championship
event
bout.
on
Hell
a
yeah.
card like that. That was pretty stacked.
Mhm.
There's some pretty good fights overall, but I think Bivol did so much better than he did the first go round, and he just came in with a different mindset and strategy. Like, okay, I gave this guy too much respect the first fight. It
Yeah.
cost me because I tried to I lost too many rounds starting
Mhm.
the fight the first go round. I can't do that again and try to play catch up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he did phenomenal. Shout out to Dimitri Bivol. Uh, not that Beterbiev had anything to hang his head about. I mean, he was really
No.
out there clanging and banging too. And
He was.
what did you think, Julio? What did you think about that fight?
Well, first and foremost, let me just say that you put it well put. It was literally round 13 of a 24 round bout. That they literally picked up where they left off, except this time around, Bivol knew that he needed to start fast and he needed to get points way ahead Beterbiev. So kudos to him, man. He boxed a beautiful boxing match. That's all I can say. Even though he was on his back foot a lot of the time, he was again just kind of like what you said. He would wait for him to kind of apply pressure, stop on a dime, and then hit him with one good shot to kind of stun him in his tracks, and then all of a sudden just let out a flurry of punches just to land points. The guy could have not boxed a better boxing match than he did that day. Could have
Right.
not. He just did so well. And the thing that impressed me was the fact that he was being more aggressive. And we talked about it in our previous podcast as well that in order for Bivol to try to make up for that first fight, he needs to be more aggressive and not
Yep.
be as patient and not show as much respect to Beterbiev or any of that, just to kind of go out there and clang and bang. Again, not taking anything away from Beterbiev because at in moments he did look like he had Bivol in trouble. In moments,
Yes.
not the
Yes.
entire fight, but in moments it was like, damn, he's getting on his ass. And again, it was a close fight. It went all the way to decision. I know that before the fight, I had actually called that Bivol would win by knockout somewhere around 7 or 8, and of course that didn't happen. But again, an awesome fight. Definitely a fight that you do want to see as a boxing fan. That kind of fight are the type of fights that we're expecting. Those are the fights that we're looking for. That kind of action, all 12 rounds, just nonstop, pedal to the metal. Both guys giving everything they had. And man, just an amazing performance. And I can't wait. And I know it's going to happen. I know that they asked Bivol after the fight if a number three was going to happen, and he was like, "Well, I need some time to rest and this and that and the other, and we'll think about it." And but at the end of the day, man, this they're going to make it happen. Turkey Ali, whatever his last name is,
Alosh
uh,
Sheik.
Alashik, him. I know that he's going to do something to make that fight happen again,
He
and
gonna money whip the
pretty
hell out
soon.
of him for
Oh
that fight.
yeah, for sure, because I know that when they asked Beterbiev was like, "I didn't even want the second fight, but,
Right.
money talks, bullshit walks. I'll fight whoever they point me in my direction, I'll fight." So, I'm pretty sure that that fight's gonna happen soon, and if it does, trust me, I will be tuning in to watch that fight because that fight is gonna be on the next level. I can guarantee you that because you could tell on the face of Beterbiev, he was not satisfied with that
Oh, he
result
was
at
not
all.
happy at
He was
all.
not happy at all. So, yeah, I can't wait.
But I think he also knows that he kind of let that one get out of
Yeah,
his grasp.
yeah.
You know what I don't see too many people talking about,
Mhm,
but I thought was very impressive was as a boxing consumer,
mhm.
when you think of a card that stacked and how many good fights were on it, title fights were on there.
Yeah.
You look at the quality of matches and you start to take a step back and you're like, a card like that, that's probably $100 pay per view, right?
Mhm.
The Zone had it for $30,
Get
a
out of here.
$30 pay per view.
What? How?
When was the last time you saw a $30 boxing pay per view
In forever, bro.
in
It's
forever,
been
bro?
forever.
Turkey Al Sheik said, I want to put on the best fights and I want to charge a decent price because A, it gets more eyes on the product, but B, people don't gotta bootleg it and try to stream it, pirate
Yeah.
the broadcast if it's affordable.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pay $100 for one main event and then everything else is just like bullshit
Garbage.
undercard.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for that to be $30, I thought I was mistaken. I was like,
Hold up. Do
am
I
I
got the right
reading this?
channel?
Yeah, am I reading this right? $30. It was like 29.99.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
a lot of people ain't gonna say it. I'll say it. Shout out Turkey Al Sheik for putting on the Riyadh season fights, but making them affordable so that everybody
Hell yeah.
can get in on it and be able to enjoy, nights of boxing. His ultimate goal is let's make boxing great again. And I think he's doing a phenomenal job. He's putting the big fights together. He's making it affordable for the boxing consumer.
Mhm.
I don't mind that.
At all. No, I ain't
So
mad at that at all.
keep on doing what you do, Playboy.
Hell yeah.
And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and call it. But we do want to thank everybody so much for just taking the time to watch this video. Like I said, we do enjoy providing this content to you guys. So thank you so much for all the love, support. Continue to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And that is right here. And with that being said, we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.